welcome to Zeal and Zen video series. So my name is Zoe of Zeal and Zen, and I'm here to talk a little bit about knee pain. So before we get into some of the suggestions I'm going to give you, I want to remind you that always to move with awareness, always to move with easy breath, and feeling really nice and flowy within your body. If you feel any clicks or clunks or clanks, this is probably not a place you should go. So be aware of what is appropriate for your body and where it's at. So back to the knee stuff. Basic motion of the knee is flexion extension, this movement, okay? The knee is trapped between two joints, ankle and hip, that have way different range of motion than the knee does. So in addition to this back and forth at the hip, which is like this, the hip also has this rotation and this back and forth like this. And it's fairly similar with the ankle. It has this back and forth, and then it can even go side to side, and then nice big circles. So way more mobility above and below the knee. So what happens if we lose that mobility or it's compromised, it dumps on the knee. Hence the strong statistics that indicate that there's a lot of people with knee pain out there. So what can we do? Let's make the ankle and the hip work a little bit better and pay a little bit of attention to them. So I'm going to start with, first of all, an awareness technique. So what I have here is a bunch of different balls, and any of these will work fine. Just giving you different variation. The actual little prickly trigger ball that you can get. A tennis ball, they're nice and easy and inexpensive at the dollar store. Little bouncy ball from the dollar store again. And then this is an actual trigger point ball, and I'm going to use this one. So for the foot and the ankle, just place it down on the ground. And you can weight yourself on the wall just to give yourself a little more balance and roll and explore the bottom of the foot. So I'm going to move quickly through this, and then you can take your time when you're doing the exploration, because it is an exploration. So make sure you cover the whole area of the foot and spend a little bit of time maybe in those little places that might have a little tension or whatever. Again, breathe through it all. Don't go to the place where you're going to find problems with your breath or create some tension. Moving to the hip, put the ball against the wall, about hip height, and then sandwich it there with your body. So I'm coming into this with the fleshy part of my body, so there's no bony part that's there. So it's going to land right around the hip, but not on the hip bone for sure. So more glute and the edge and the side. And then I'm just going to do that same little exploration, and roll around and spend as much time as you need to. Maybe lean into it a bit in a certain place that might mean something to you. The only rule here is to stay in the fleshy part of the body and not roll over the bone. Okay? So both sides again, and in the place where you don't get any yellow lights. Once we now have that awareness in both of these locations, we're going to play with it a bit. So for the ankle, you can sit down somewhere where you have a little bit of ability to move, and I've just put a stool sort of with some yoga blocks here just to support the opposite leg, and we can point flex, we can move side to side, and we can rotate both directions. So those are all movements spent a little bit of time with. Don't just race through it. So I'm going through this quickly for ease of viewing, but I'd like you to explore. And if this seated place to explore isn't a happy place, like if the weight of your leg hanging like this is not comfortable for your knee, the other thing you can do is do it on your back. So you can lay down and do the same thing here. Okay. Also from this place, from laying down, the next movement that you can do is with the hip. So right hand on right knee and left hand on left knee, just start to circle the leg bone in the pelvis. So we're creating a bit of movement that's going to discover each little nook and cranny in the hip joint. So I like to talk about the hip being, or the pelvis being a bowl, and the leg bone being like a spoon, and you're stirring that spoon in the bowl. Make sure you go both directions, nice and easy. So I'm speaking through this, so I'm in a pretty comfortable place as I'm doing this. So just rolling that spoon around. And take your time to do this exploration. Avoid any movements that give you clicks, clunks, or tension, or breath holding, anything like that. So spend some time with that exploration. And then come on up and find your wall again. Lean against the wall. And take a little bit of distance from the wall. So your knee is right above your ankle. So it's a very, very gentle wall sit. So I'm not looking for you to be way down here and really working hard, just very, very gentle. Upper body quiet, really heavy. And I like to close my eyes here just to sort of get into it. And a little pulse of energy from the soles of the feet into the floor, and then relax. And a few times just like that. So really easy, quiet upper body, and just a few little pulses. And then come away. So there's a little sequence that you can try and see how that plays out with your knees. So I'd love to hear what you liked about this video, or what you discovered about exploring the activities that I've shown you here. Again, always moving in an appropriate range of motion and avoiding those yellow lights. Namaste.